Hello, good evening, everybody. This is your host, Clip Brother, the Club that was Sports Report live right here in Leesburg, Virginia, Loudoun County area. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys about the fact that the Raiders have taken down the Saints 34-24 in that game. I'll talk to you guys also about the fact that Novak Djokovic just won the men's 2020 Rome Open, 36 overall title. He said Denny Hamlin joins MJ to form a NASCAR team group with Bubba Wallace. I'll get you guys to that for sure. Vanessa Bryant files a lawsuit against the LAPD sheriff's deputy, and also the entire department for the photos that were shared, that were allegedly shared of the helicopter crash, which took out Kobe, Gigi, and some of the individuals deceased in the helicopter crash. The NFL finding Vic Fangio, Pete Carroll, and Kyle Shanahan not wearing face masks. Get you guys that for sure. College basketball events being moved to Orlando. I'll get you guys that for sure. I'll tell you which events were moved to Orlando. I'll get you guys that for sure. Joan Jett to Mystical and many others out there. To Carlos Correa. That's all out for that. Sylvester Stallone's mother, Jackie Stallone's being deceased at 98, by the way. And Blake Bortles sent a 1 year off with the Broncos, by the way, as well. And that's all the news I will have for today, everybody, on that note. So there's something more to it. I want to start things off with the fact that the Raiders had taken down the Saints 34-24 in that game. And, Drew Brees was 26-38 carries and attempts. He had 312 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Alvin Kamara had 13 carries, 79 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 95 receiving yards. Tre'Quan Smith had 5 receptions and 96 receiving yards, or 16 receiving yards, that is, by the way. Derek Carr had 38 carries and attempts. He had 282 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing yards, and 3 carries in that game. Darren Waller had 12 receptions, 103 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown in that game. Josh Jacobs had 27 carries, 88 rushing yards, 8 receptions, and 17 receiving yards. So honestly, this all, I thought the Saints were going to take down the Raiders. That didn't happen. It was the Raiders that took down the Saints in their home turf at Allegiant Stadium, the Death Star. But my goodness, Raiders are 2-0. That's a scary thing right there. I mean, this Vegas Raiders, would I give them a chance to make it to the playoffs? Not a chance at all. Not a chance, because there's absolutely no way that the Raiders are going to make it to there's absolutely no way that they're going to make it to the playoffs. Absolutely no way. And there is absolutely no way that Derek Carr and the Saints and the Raiders defense, which is outmaneuvered Drew Brees. That shouldn't have happened, really. Raiders were a terrible team, but they didn't look so terrible last night. I can tell you that. But my goodness, I got to tell you right now. I got you, this new Raiders, maybe more impeccable as ever, but they're gonna be able to stop the Chiefs in the next couple of games next month. That's the real question. Chiefs are the defending Super Bowl champs. Would I give the Raiders a chance to make it to the Super Bowl? No. They could still probably get a playoff spot if necessary, but they're still gonna lose anyway. So Raiders, man. They upset the Saints, something that no one expected, though. No one saw it coming. But they also last night. So they just beat Saints. So Raiders just beat the Saints by like 10 points in that game. But my goodness. I didn't think that would ever ensue. So that's all I'm going to say on that note right there. So nothing more to it. Also, another thing I want to point out, by the way, that excuse me, Novak Djokovic has won his 2020 men's Rome Open, or the Italian Open. This is 36 overall Grand Slam title he's had. So congrats to him on that. Also, this is the guys that Denny Hamlin, he's joining MJ. Michael joined to form a NASCAR team with Bubba Wallace, by the way, as a driver, marking high-profile pairings of black majority team owners and the only black driver at NASCAR's top level. MJ is the first black principal owner of a full-time Cup team. Jordan and Hamlin, they purchased the charter for the team from Germain Racing, guaranteeing Wallace a spot in the 40 car field every single week. This is gonna be occurring in 2021. I can tell you that right now. So that is all there is to it. So that's an achievement that is. So that'll happen in 2021, everybody. So stay tuned for that. And also, this look, I want to point this out that the NFL they just fined Vic Fangio, Pete Carroll, and Kyle Shanahan $100K for not wearing face masks. They also fined each coach. NFL fined each coach's team 250K. That is, players were exempt from the protocols, by the way, as well. Other coaches that were violated in the violate the NFL rules will be Belichick, Jon Gruden, and Sean Payton. By the way, now Jon Gruden, he had his face mask like a chin strap. Sean Payton had his wore his like a gator, like a turtleneck, wore his gator like a turtleneck. By the way, so Jon Gruden, he did have coronavirus and he violated the NFL rules, and he did apologize for that for sure. So bad look for that. And honestly, a lot to be said there. So that's not looking good. That's really not looking good, though. Bad image, and they need to get together. So NFL coaches, they sent a memo last week. So the NFL coaches need to get together by wearing those face masks. I mean, Andy Shield, he wore a face shield, by the way, as well. And, surprised a lot of people, I can tell you that. But, I think it's obvious. I think it's just quite obvious that I find it fitting. And perhaps I do think it's, to say at this day and age, a lot can change in an instant. So I mean, so I went from that, and well, that's all I get to say there, everybody. On that note, so those NFL coaches, they need to get together wearing those face masks. I mean, Andy Reid, he had a face shield, by the way. His face was so foggy that it was almost like a windshield. That is, he couldn't see his play sheet. Huh. Wow. Andy Reid loves his protocols on that. So gotta get props to Andy Reid on that note. So yeah. That surprised a lot of people. I can tell you that right now. And honestly, gotta give him credit's due on that note. So this is a big surprise and it's a big move. So I think a lot can ensue there. So I think that the NFL coaches need to lift expectations by wearing the face masks or the face shields on the sidelines while they're coaching games. That's what they need to do right there. That's all there is to it for that. And also, there's still guys that college basketball events have been moved to Orlando, by the way. And that's going to be taking place. That's going to be starting November 25th, by the way. Non-conference games could be taking place in in Orlando as well, by the way, as well. So also, and now it is for the Champions Classic. It's going to be Duke, MSU, Michigan State, Kansas, and Kentucky. The Charleston Classic is going to be FSU, Florida State, Houston, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Seton Hall, and Tennessee, VCU. The Myrtle Beach Invitational is going to have Charlotte, Dayton, Loyola Chicago, Mizzou, Nebraska, Penn, Pittsburgh, Utah State. The NIT tip-off is going to be Arizona, Cincy, St. John's, Texas Tech. The Wood Legacy is going to G-Town, Kansas, UCLA, UVA, Orlando, UVA. The Orlando Invitational is going to be Auburn, Belmont, Boise State, Gonzaga, Siena, St. Louis. Yeah, MSU, by the way. St. Louis, Xavier. You got SMU, by the way, as well. You got let's see, the Jimmy V Classic, by the way. You got Gonzaga, Tennessee, Baylor, Rutgers, St. Mary's. So wait, no. Baylor, Rutgers. And you got the Diamond Head Classic of ASU, Arizona State, Hawaii, North Texas, Oklahoma, and Yes, Seattle and Temple. So those are your those are 8 college basketball events that have been moved to Orlando. By the way, the Orlando bubble. So this is going to be taking place November 25th. That's all there is you need to know, and that right there will say it all right there. So college basketball. I think the preseason or the tip off is going to be taking place November 25th. By the way, and I think all the games and all the tournament. I think the March Madness is going to be taking place inside this bubble. By the way. So that is all there is you need to know on that note. So I think it's going to be taking place at that. But I think that safe to say that all these college basketball games, including the Final Four, could also be taking place inside this bubble as well. So that could be a work in progress, to the very least, because it's a coronavirus issue. So that is all there is to it. I can tell you that. And if that ensues, I'll let you guys know ahead of time on that. So that's all you need to know, everybody, on that note. So just hoping that ensues, like, to the very least. And that says it all. Also, guys, everybody, I want to point this out that Vanessa Bryant, she was filed a lawsuit on the LA County Sheriff's Department, including Alex Villanueva and his department, by the way, over the photos that were taken, the graphic photos of the helicopter crash that had late great Kobe, Gigi, and some of the individuals who see the helicopter crash, by the way, as well. So basically, it says right here that Vanessa Bryant, she sued Sheriff Alex Villanueva and his department, claiming they caused her emotional distress when deputies allegedly took the photos, by the way, of Kobe and Gigi's bodies at the helicopter scene, by the way, that they lost their lives, by the way, that had them lose their lives, and all the others. Less than 8 deputies got their something overturned here. Got their cameras overturned, and basically none of them prosecutors. I mean, once they deleted this whole thing, once they deleted the photos, they wouldn't be facing any disciplinary action. I could say that, no termination. So that is pretty much all there is for that. And basically says the lawsuit says right here, though, that now she says right here that she's filed a lawsuit against the LA County Sheriff by the name of Alex Villanueva and his department, by the way, sharing graphic photos of Kobe and Gigi, late great Kobe, Gigi, and his son, those who were deceased in a helicopter crash, by the way, and some others, by the way. Now the reports were surfacing, the graphic photos were surfacing of the victims that were deceased shared. Now Vanessa Bryant was disturbed by these photos, by the way, all these reports. Now suit does see damages in negligence, privacy, and infliction of emotional distress, by the way, as well. Now, Alex Villanueva told the news media that 8 deputies took or shared the graphic photos of the scene in order for the images to be deleted. The sheriff said the department has a policy against taking and sharing crime scene photos. Doesn't apply to accident scenes. It says he says it's the number one priority to make sure these photos didn't exist anymore, didn't appear. He says we identified the deputies involved. They came to the station on their own and had admitted they had taken them and they deleted them. We're confident that those involved and did that. Now, Vanessa Bryant's lawsuit alleges that the sheriff's actions constitute. Now, Vanessa Bryant claims that Alex Villanueva and his sheriff's department covered this whole thing up of the misconduct. The photos could still exist. Now Miss Bryant feels ill at the thought of strangers gawking at images of her deceased husband and her kid, at Gigi, that is, by the way. So there's a fear that she will one day confront the horrific images of their loved ones online. Now Gavin Newsom, who's the California governor, did sign a bill that will make it a misdemeanor for first responders to take unauthorized photos of deceased individuals at the helicopter scene of an accident or a crime. Legislation was prompted by the crash photos, by the way. Now statement says right here, the sheriff's department claims that Villanueva sponsored the bill, which makes lawmakers can do So very shortly following this tragic crash, Sheriff Illinois sponsored legislation which now makes it a crime for public safety personnel to take and share graphic photos of this nature. Due to the pending litigation, we're unable to offer any comment. By the way, now Brian's her attorney Gary C. Robb didn't comment on this at all. She filed a claim to the precursor to a lawsuit in Nellie County Superior Court. By the way, that suit was filed last week on Thursday. Now, Brian also filed a lawsuit alleging the helicopter's pilot Ara Zabayan careless and negligent to fly in the fog and should have avoided the flight. The brother said that in a court filing that Brian knew the risk of helicopter flying and his survivors aren't entitled to damages from the pilot's estate, which the helicopter company Island Express said it's not responsible for any damages, calling the crash an act of God and an unavoidable accident. Oh, by the way, so the sheriff's deputies were not unveiled. I can tell you that. And deputies had not been unveiled. And they could probably, maybe face disciplinary action, I guess, or have for sure deleted, they'll be released. I can tell you that right now. But the photos were deleted, by the way, I can tell you that. So they could. So Vanessa Bryant does one just against the 8 deputies that took the photos. And obviously, that's how it ends right there. So to say, I think of this day and age, they may as well, maybe for once, try to figure out what ensued there. And well, that's all there is to what you need to know. And hopefully there's a resolution to all that. And obviously, does say it all right there. So there's another more to it say right there, and that's all there is. Also, some really sad news I want to point out here, by the way. Jackie Stallone, who's Sylvester Stallone's mother, she was deceased at 98. Very clear what she died of. She was an astrologer, a dancer, and she was also a glow wrestling manager and a promoter back in the 80s. Later in the it was late, and now the glow wrestling will be later. Glow will be later, and the same name on a Netflix, which everyone still sees, by the way. She made numerous TV appearances throughout the 90s, got her own Sidekick Hotline, parodied in SNL Sunday Night Live, and Celebrity Big Brother in UK. She did workout videos of cardio, plyometrics, and also and dance in studios. My thoughts and prayers go out to Sylvester Stallone, all his colleagues, his family members, all of his fans, all his viewers, subscribers to the terrific loss of his own mother, that is, by the way. Very clear what she died of, so that is all there is you need to know. And don't know for sure how that turns out. So that's all there is to it. So thoughts and prayers out to Sylvester Stallone, his family members, to the terrific loss, and that's all I can say everybody on that. Also, others I want to point out here, by the way, Blake Bortles has signed a 1-year offer with the Broncos, by the way, as a backup quarterback. Once he passes a coronavirus protocols, by the way, may be tested and may be quarantined for like 4 days. That is, by the way. That's all there is to it you need to know. And that's all I can say on that note right there. So they moved that is right there. I can tell you that. Big move on that note. So let's do it. Also, I want to say happy birthdays out to Ronaldo, Mystical, Moneybag Yo, Tom Felton, Bob Sapp, Harry Cool, Thiago Silva, late great David Stern, Denard Robinson, Tommy Lasorda, Martin Stekelenburg, Billy Piper, Joan Jett, Tatiana Maslany, Carlos Correa, Alejandro, Antoine Hubert, Ashley Eckstein, Rima Fakin, Martin Crow, Jay Coker, Dylan Windler, Nick Gage, Hassan Reddick, Sabine Lasicki, Derek Brassard, and Wally Beckman. So send your brother wishes, your brother shows, your brother tweets everybody on that note, and that's all you guys got to do. So check that out. Please be sure you do so, and that's all there's you need to know, everybody, on that note. And also this, the guys that Microsoft they bought ZeniMax Media and Bethesda for $7.5 billion. That's surprising news right there. I can tell you that. I mean, this was announced yesterday, by the way. You can read the entire statement below. You can read the entire statement, by the way, regarding Xbox and Bethesda. And that's all there is to it. So that's big news right there. Congrats to Microsoft and Xbox on that, and Bethesda. So that's news yet. Also, this, the guys that 5 members of Retribution, they were unveiled last night. They were in mask. 5 of them. You had T-Bar as Dominic Djokovic, and also get this though, they signed WWE contracts to do whatever they want and to whoever they want, to any superstars they want to target, and they would say they want to target and say they want to create and know what they want to do. So the 5 members of Retribution that started to kick off Monday Night Raw last night, they were unveiled and they were in mask, different masks by the way. You had T-Bar as Dominic Djokovic, Mace, Dio Madden. You even had Slapjack, Shane Thorne, Mia Yim, the Blazer Baddie, Mia Yim, and Mercedes Martinez. My goodness. I gotta say, that's some tandem right there. But them, thank goodness. They wreaked havoc on both rosters, the Raw and SmackDown rosters. First the SmackDown roster, they put a stop to them. SmackDown roster, they entered the locker room, they stopped, they battled Retribution. But then last night, finally, the Raw roster, they battled Retribution, by the way, as well. And my goodness, I gotta tell you, they had the first match last night. It was Mace, T-Bar, and Slapjack. Retribution, by the way. They battled the Hurt Business of Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin. And then the numbers game came up of Retribution, by the way. Drew McIntyre entered the locker room and battled Retribution as well. So, my goodness. How the world do you stop these guys? Can Retribution ever be stopped? And who's at least behind it? Is it T-Bar? Is he behind it? So who's really behind Retribution? Who is it? Who's behind it? That's what everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know who's behind Retribution. Everybody. Is it T-Bar? Is it really him? So that's all there is to it. And could be him. Could be T-Bar Retribution. He can be behind it. So that's all I know right there, everybody. And they used to invade SmackDown, but they don't do so much of that. They invaded Raw though, but they don't think they're gonna be on SmackDown this Friday. So that's a question that remains right there. So they haven't been on SmackDown lately, though. They used to be on SmackDown, invade SmackDown, but not so much anymore. I don't get that. They invaded Raw. They've invaded both Raw and SmackDown, but now they invade Raw, and then on SmackDown. Makes zero sense there. So, of course, there's everybody got to ask, and who's behind Retribution, and what do they have in store for the WWE roster? That's all there is you need to know on that note. So, that's something a lot of people are going to be talking about for weeks, ages, centuries, months, generations, decades. So that comes to the question right there, and obviously that's something a lot of people are want to know for sure. So what's Retribution's next move, and who are they going to target next? So that's all there is you need to know, and honestly, just hoping that it doesn't ensue yet again. I hope that does not ensue yet again, because they've been causing a lot of mayhem since. I can say that right now. So that's all you need to know, everybody. Well, that's going to do right there for the Clue That Was Sports. Like, subscribe to the Clue That Was Sports YouTube channel on Facebook by any and all means necessary. Be sure you send me your comments, tweet your reaction, your thoughts. on the Raiders defeating the Saints in their home turf Leisure Stadium. The Death Star. Let me know about in the comment section. I'll address the sponsor everybody on that note right there. And that's all there is to it. So your thoughts about that? You think that Raiders are playoff favorites? Let me know about the comment section. I'll address the sponsor that. And that's all there is to it, I could say. So nothing more to it right there. And that's all there is to it. What are your thoughts about that? I'll address the sponsor that. You listen Denny Hamlin joining MJ to form a NASCAR team with Bubba Wallace as a driver in 2021. Let me know about that in the comment section. I'll address the sponsor everybody on that note as well. That's all you need to know, everybody. So everybody wishes out to Ronaldo, Mystical, Moneybag Yo, Carlos Correa, Malasorda, Rima Fakin, and Sabine Lasicki, and Derek Brassard, Wally Beckman. So send the brother wishes, brother shells, brother tweets. By the way, down below in the comment section. That's all you got to do, everybody, on that note right there. So nothing more to it, I could say. And that's all there is. So what are your thoughts about Novak Djokovic win the 2020 Men's Rome Open? 36th overall title, they said. Let me know about in the comment section. I'll address sponsor everybody on that as well. What are your thoughts on Microsoft buying ZeniMax Media and Bethesda for $7.5 billion? Let me know about in the comment section. I'll address sponsor everybody as well. You know some retribution, by the way. What do you think the next ulterior motive is? I'll address sponsor everybody on that note as well. What are your thoughts about it? I'll respond and address that. That's all you got. That's all you got to know, everybody, on that. What are your thoughts on what are your reactions to Vanessa Bryant filing a lawsuit against the LA County Sheriff's Department, by the way, over the graphic photos of the helicopter crash that had late great Kobe, Gigi, and some of those deceased? Let me know about that. What repercussions that they could face, by the way. I will address the sponsor everybody on that as well. That's all you need to know, just for now. And what are your thoughts about that? I'll respond and address that. So nothing more to it, I could say. Oh, by the way, I forgot this. What are your thoughts on Darius Leonard accidentally throwing a glove to a fan as Winning Society? What are your thoughts about that? So Darius Leonard, he did get the ring back, by the way. So the wedding ring back, by the way. So what are your thoughts about that? I'll just sponsor everybody on that as well. That's all you need to know. That's about that. I'll have more breaking news in times of updates. So much more in the clothes, sports, but all things sports related, everything you need to know. That's all I gotta say about it. So take care, everybody. You guys have a good evening. Please be safe out there. Bye bye.